Welcome back to the Lanterne Rouge Cycling Podcast. This is the Tour of the Basque Country. People have been asking, are you doing recaps for Tour of the Basque Country? Of course we are. Every stage. If you see World Tour, the designation applied to the race, we'll be doing recaps. We just got too caught up with Tour of Flanders, or I did, to do a preview or anything like that. But anyway, stage one was an ITT, kicking it off with the Bilbao to Bilbao ITT, 14 Ks long. I think it was actually 13, just over 13 Ks, and a nasty time trial in classic Basque Country fashion. It starts with a 2.5 kilometre climb at 7%, with some pinches in there of 11%. There's a bit of a flat section in the middle of there, so not sure if it's fake news climb or not. People can let me know. Then there's a longish descent for pretty much the rest of the TT, and then they do a final ramp of 500 meters at 10% with like 14% pinches in it. It goes up in the middle of Bilbao on a hill in there. I'm not sure if they used it before. I think they have. Anyway, start list stacked. Absolutely monstrous start list that we'll see at the Tour de France. All the GC contenders of the Tour are here. Pogačar, Roglic, Adam Yates, Carapaz, Jonas Vingegaard, Mollema, Chavez, Valverde, Mas, Carthy, Izagirre, Lutsenko, Buchmann, Kelderman, Schachmann. Just ridiculous. Sorry if I missed anybody. Not many quick men, though. Kind of like Catalunya. Smith, Court, Hirschi, Igita, Impey. Just trying to give an overview. That was your preview. You're welcome. Who did you have for the stage today, Benji? Up and down TT, some flat sections, some punchy climbs. We've kind of had a not as nasty as the Vuelta TT last year, which had flat and then a climb, which Roglic won, and then not as long or properly mountainous like Planche de Belfi in the Tour. Who did you have?
I had Pogačar for this one.
Me too.
And the reason I had Pogačar for this one is because his time trial the entire season has been pretty great, and it has been pretty great since the Slovenian Championships last year. Now this is a bit of a different parcours. This is not a parcours that we have seen him ride against anyone on since, well, basically that point, because we've had the mountain time trials of the Slovenian National Championships, we had the Tour de France one, then we had pretty flat ones so far this season. So it really came down to a different parcours, a bit of a rolling hills one. We know that Roglic and Pogačar are pretty much 1v1ing each other on these relatively hilly parcours on Tour de France stages last year. And we've seen them do good stuff already this season. So I think they were both going to be very good. I was curious to see where all the Ineos people would end up, because this is kind of deciding who they go for
Adam
this
Yates.
week. I'd expect Adam Yates to do a relatively decent time trial.
Yeah.
I don't expect him to get close to Pogačar or Roglic here. At least I didn't think he would beforehand. And I also didn't expect too much from a Gegenhardt in a time trial anymore after this season already showing that he's not really up there. So I, depending on how he did today, I would start getting worried about his time trial for the Tour de France.
Who? Gegenhardt?
Yes.
I'd be worried about everything, mate, not just the TT. But before we get into the results, I want to mention our show partner, Locals, for the entire year. They just released a collection with Johan Museo, his memories of racing, about Tour of Flanders, why he loves riding.
He's from my city, by the way.
Yep, he's from Benji's. I'm not sure it's a city.
It's a city, man. It's almost the capital of Belgium.
Okay. I don't think so.
Okay.
But
it's actually a city.
Johan Museo is Benji's neighbour. They probably ride together, and he just doesn't tell me, and he hasn't brought him on the pod yet. But anyway, Lacola brought out a kit with Johan Museo. You can check it out on their Instagram or on their website. Maybe we can peer pressure Benji into sending us footage of him attacking Museo on the Paterberg in a few weekends' time. But onto the TT. You know how we do this. We just do the results and then talk about some of the themes from the stage. Roglic went before live coverage started, which, I mean, not ideal. The guy's going to come first or second in the TT, and we didn't see it live, so that wasn't great. Pogačar went really late, so there was like a gap of 3 hours between the two. But Roglic went into the hot seat like 28 seconds out of Patrick Bevan. And then the other Jumbo-Visma riders, Vos and Vingegaard, they set times of 4 seconds and 10 seconds, respectively, quicker than Bevan. But then Roglic destroyed everybody. 17-17 on this 13-kilometre course. He was third at the intermediate time check with a time of 7:47 behind McNulty, UAE, who went after Roglic and looked really good. But he was, some time, a couple of hours maybe after Roglic, the American, and he finished 2 seconds behind Roglic. So first Roglic for the stage, second McNulty, third Vingegaard, 18 seconds behind Roglic. Everyone's thinking, you haven't mentioned another Slovenian yet. That's right. Vos, fourth, the Norwegian on Jumbo-Visma, 24 seconds behind Roglic. And then Pogačar, 28 seconds behind Roglic in fifth, same time as Bevan. But I think he was just a few fractions of a second ahead of him. And similarly, a few fractions of a second ahead of Adam Yates in... where was it, Benji? 6th or 7th. So that's insane. Just your reaction there before we get to the rest of the top 10. Pogačar shipping 28 seconds to Roglic in a TT. I thought it'd be much closer.
Yeah, I thought it would be much closer as well. And I think there's a few things that we could go into when it comes to his time trial too, where I think he lost the most time. He started the time trial, looked relatively decent at the start, and he actually beat Roglic at the first time check by, I think, 2 seconds.
Yep.
He was behind McNulty, though, his own teammate, who had a really good start to the time trial, but then pretty much blew it towards the end. And looking at Pogačar from that point onwards, they come into a bit of a situation with multiple corners following each other up, and every corner he was taking, I was thinking, oh, something's going on, because, I don't know, it just felt
Very
like he was taking the corners very conservative indeed, a bit not per se scared, but yeah, just careful. And if you do it carefully, then you're going to lose seconds, and that was clearly the case. And then eventually he ended up not looking too bright when he was climbing the final hill as well. So I think he lost quite a bit of time on that final hill as well. So yeah, not the best time trial in Pogačar's house, but I would not be too scared yet for the rest of the week. This does not define the week, but it does set a bit of a score for Roglic now. So
definitely.
Slovenian 1 is winning against Slovenian 2 right now.
The rest of the top 10, Bevan, as I said, was 7th. Yates just beat him. Ida Schelling, 8th for Bora Hansgrohe, 29 seconds behind Roglic. Nice time for Schelling. The best Bora Hansgrohe time, that was 2 seconds ahead of Schachmann, who was 10th, and Aaron Baru was 9th. I don't know where he's got that time from, but he's come in the top 10, 30 seconds behind Roglic, and we'll talk about him, I think, at the end of this podcast for tomorrow's stage. But other GC contenders, if I can try and do some quick maths and pick them out, he issued quite a nice time, actually, 17:54. It's not outrageously good, like 37 seconds behind Roglic, but compared to where he was at Catalunya when he was getting the doors blown off him by breakaway compatriots who aren't near his level normally, seems to be better. Bilbao, not so bad. Kelderman also, actually not as good as I expected. I thought Kelderman would come in the top 7, personally, and to be giving up 36 seconds to Roglic. I was surprised by that Adam Yates was beating him. Carapaz, not a disaster, not great either. I think 45 seconds. Valverde, 43 seconds. Van Seven, not so bad. I'm trying to look down for the Landa, 50. And then the big problems. Carthy, 1 minute and 6 seconds. And Gegenhardt, 1 minute and 8 seconds. That's just, you can't compete in these 1 week stage races, and we haven't done all the parcours, but there's not like back-to-back-to-back hectic mountain stages. It makes it too tough, because maybe Roglic has a bad day, but there's like 6 or 7 people ahead of them now with real time ahead of them. It's going to be difficult to make that up. So even a podium now is very difficult for those riders. Who do you think is the big winner from the GC contenders today, Benji, apart from Roglic? Is it Vingegaard? Is he a real GC threat here after his performance at Sedi Maracoppi Bartoli last week?
I think looking at the parcours, he can really do well, but I don't see him as a real competitor for the overall GC here. I also think that in any situation where Roglic will need any help, he's going to help Roglic. And looking at the overall team that Jumbo has here, it's not a bad team, definitely. They've got Vos, who also did well. They've got Omen, who has been climbing well all season. Tolhoek, who was decent at, was it Tirreno? No. It was not. Was it? I think Catalonia. I don't know, where Kruiswijk didn't do too great. But all in all, we also have Vingegaard as well, also here. So it's not a godlike team you would send to a Grand Tour. But as you can see from the results today, they've got 3 riders in the top 4 of this initial time trial. So I definitely wouldn't be counting them out for a strong team performance. But if Pogačar attacks, I think it's going to be hard to focus on the domestiques to help Roglic out. He's going to have to do some stuff himself here, certainly. I think that one of the winners, once again, after these time trials is a rider that we said with the Yates brothers in time trials is flip of a coin, but Adam Yates is slowly but surely showing that it's not only a flip of a coin recently, and we see that today. He's actually not that far behind, 6th in this time trial. That is better than I think everybody would have anticipated before the season started. And looking at his performances so far this season, he's 99% sure the leader of Ineos here, because in these one-week races, he's an absolute god. And if we look at the parcours that are coming, these hilly finishes, these flat sprints after hills, all these kind of hilly terrains, and not per se a huge mountain stage in this parcours, this means that it's so perfectly made for all 3 of these riders, for a Roglic, for a Pogačar, and for a Yates. So
not so much for Yates, I don't think. I mean,
you disagree?
I think,
I don't know. I feel like he's really good at these punchy like
points. The niche stage, sure. Last year in the Tour de France, where he got himself, I think it was a Colders, he attacked with Alaphilippe and Hirschi.
No idea.
But I think it just suits Roglic and Pogačar a lot more. Schachmann too should suit him really well. I think Izagirre losing a lot of time. He's going to need a bad weather day. Carapaz losing a lot of time. Esteban Chavez lost nearly 2 minutes. Like, how are you supposed to compete on GC?
Buchmann end?
Yeah, that's a good point. Let me control FM. Buchmann lost 50 or 48. 48, 40.
Okay.
I think something
it's
like that.
It's not horrible. It's not amazing. They've got 2 teammates in that top 10. Schelling and Schachmann. Schelling is going to be a teammate. I don't see him leading the team here at Itzulia unless something magical happens. Kelderman is off. It's hard, because Schachmann in one-week races, I dare to put him on a similar level as Kelderman here with these kind of stages.
And talking about the profiles, there's not any 30-minute plus Alpine climb. There's no Prati de Tivo stage, no Portenay, no climbs like that. All the climbs are 20 minutes max, even the mountaintop finishes, and a lot of them are 20-minute climbs. Then they have a descent and a flat run into the finish. So it's a lot like for example, the finish 2 stage, maybe 4, or even the stage tomorrow. Let's go to that, Benji. The stage tomorrow is kind of like stage 9 of the Tour last year, light. They have in the finale 154k stage, rolling Cat 3 climbs, sort of 4Ks 6%, 4Ks 4%, 2Ks 6%, and then they do their La Asturiana climb, 7.5Ks 6.2%. The steepest part of it is in the first 5Ks or 4Ks. They got 8%, 8%, 11%, but then they have a descent and then a kick up to the finish line, 800 meters at 7.4%. So the question is, as Benji said, does Yates attack on that climb with Pogačar or someone? Because that's the key for him. And I think Yates is going to be very happy that Pogačar lost time, Benji, because it's not just going to be him having to attack. They're on the same time. And that's my question to you. How do you see tomorrow's stage playing out now with that Poggy time loss? Do you see him backing his uphill sprint? Are they riding for Hirschi in the finish, who on good form would be the favourite, you'd say? Is a breakaway going? or what? What do you think is going to happen?
Anticipating the stage, we've got 155 kilometers, so that means that it's not the longest of stages. It doesn't have the roughest of terrain before we get to that La Asturiana climb. So I'm guessing that there's going to be a break forming. Might be quite a few people that will try to go into the breakaway, but if I'm Jumbo, I'll try and make sure that this breakaway does not get too much time. Yeah. And they've got a few riders on their team that they can put at the front here. A lot of people will probably say, "Oh, why do that? Why would you do that?" But first of all, like you mentioned, it's still all very close in GC after the time trial. Additionally, I would definitely try to win this stage if I was Roglic, because this is 100%. Also very much fitting for him. 800 meters at 7.4%. The man is basically second favorite or favorite even. Hirschi, I don't know where he is. We saw him doing good today. He's definitely peaking for those Ardennes. What?
He's in Bilbao.
Okay. God damn it. I forgot what I was going to say. I think Hirschi...
Woods. What about Woods?
Wait. Sorry. Wait. Hirschi is peaking for the Ardennes, and that is coming close. So he needs to be in form very soon. So on paper, he needs to be good already at this point. And we saw him doing good today, so I hope he does well today, tomorrow, so that he can confirm that form towards the Ardennes. And Hirschi does really fit on this finish as well. But like you mentioned, Poggi versus Hirschi, I don't know how they'll do it. Yeah. I'd go for both.
I have no idea
Bet on either. 2 horses. Why not? And just next to that, Woods, you mentioned it, definitely fits on this parcours, but I think Roglic is better. I think Roglic has a better kick on this finish.
I don't know, there's so many contenders for tomorrow's finish. Now, assuming no one attacks on the climb, which is a big assumption, and Pogačar, I think it's a good option for them to attack with Pogačar on the climb, because they can sit in with Hirschi, force Jumbo-Visma to work, and if Roglic catches him, Pogačar should just sit up and then they can go to the finish, or I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. I think Yates is going to struggle against them if they just all go to the finish. I think he doesn't have that extreme punch that Pogačar and particularly Roglic does. I do want to mention Daryl Impey because of the stage in the Dauphiné last year, stage 1, 218 kilometers, and maybe it wasn't as hard as this, but I feel like, probably not. If you were ISU, this finish, you probably lead it out hard for Woods with Impey, and that's your best chance of winning. I'm not sure. If I'm UAE, I think you have to let Pogačar do this finale for himself, because you have no guarantee that he or she won't just blow up. And so if you have Pogačar try and...
But...
Yeah.
Looking at the parcours that are coming, there is literally no finish with a climb that is more than 4.6 kilometers long. It's all around 9 to 10%.
Yep.
I would genuinely dare to use Pogačar as the rider you use offensively and have Hirschi be a role in GC. This is the only stage race in the season when it comes to parcours where I definitely see Hirschi having a possibility at the overall GC in the end.
Yeah, I think you're right. I just don't know his form, and I think
same.
They know better than we do. His TT was good today, so I think agreed. Benji's right on this climb tomorrow, the extended climb before the finish, attacking with Pogačar. It'd be something I'd be looking at, and then really test out Jumbo-Visma. You got to try them. You never know what could happen, and I think Roglic, if they all go to the finish, he'll be taking bonus seconds on everybody else, and I really like him for the stage. He looks so good at Paris-Nice. Aaron Baru, outsiders, Benji. Aaron Baru, is it too hard for him? Schelling.
To win, yes. Aaron Baru to win, yes. Schelling could definitely do well here, but I don't think he has the same kick as the riders we mentioned already. I would be potentially looking at a Schachmann to be in a top 5 on this stage as well.
You and Schachmann, you love his punch. I don't see it. I just don't see it.
the problem is I mentioned every time, he had that 1 year where he had one Basque Country or one Catalonia where he won 3 stages in a row or something on these kinds of parcours. And he hasn't done it ever again. So I'm hoping we have
He only
to see it at some point.
He only does it in the Basque Country. Other contenders, we'd have to shut the podcast down if we didn't mention Alejandro Valverde, particularly after his Indurain win. You must be considered for this finish, but I don't see him on the level of Woods and Roglic and co. And my big long shot is Mikel Honore for this finish. I liked him in Agrigento. I think he's super punchy and he's got nothing to lose with Quick Step. Him and Van Sevenant, they should go ham in this Basque Country. So, but I like Honore more.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, could definitely fit. My dark horses for this one. Firstly, I would like to name Benoit Cosnefroy because he's back. He's back, boys!
Nah, Benji. And, Benji, there's a climb beforehand. Mate.
I believe, man. I believe.
He's getting dropped on that climb. There's no way.
Nah, man. Come on, Benoit. You can do it. Secondly,
didn't he come last in the TT?
What happened to Mollema today, by the way? Because
true.
He was good all season so far, but I haven't seen his result today.
He lost a lot of time in the TT. Cosnefroy lost 2 minutes 20 seconds.
Yeah, he was a minute behind after the first intermediate.
No, he just came back from injury, so I feel bad. I'm only chuckling, but even if he was fit, I wouldn't like him for tomorrow's stage. I think that climb is too hard before the finale. What?
On him as winner?
Who? Omen?
No. This is not financial advice. All in.
You're all in on Cosnefroy. Okay. Well, you had me very confused.
Nah, probably not. He's my outsider. Yeah, I didn't say Omen. Don't worry. Omen's not going to win tomorrow.
All right, that's our recap of today's stage. We like tomorrow's stage a lot. I really like the design. Agita as well. Anything could happen, and I really like that climb they've put in, which could have some early attacks, and hopefully we get that with the TT creating some gaps. Let us know in the YouTube comments if that's where you listen, who you've got for GC. Just a reminder to everybody, just because of what happened in the Tour last year, Roglic is still the best one-week racer in the world. Don't let the crash in Paris distract you from that. I think that's my view. Benji can have his own view, but Roglic in one-week stage races is an animal. And yeah, that's all I'll say on it, particularly with a parcours like this. But who do you think is winning, Benji? While we're here, got some time. Who have you got for GC in Basque Country? Because we never did a preview.
I'm going to go for not one of the two Slovenians because that would be boring. So I'm going to go for a coup from the same team, and I'm going to say Hirschi. I'm going to expect him to rise up. And looking at the parcours, it should on paper be possible for an informed Hirschi, but we don't know where he is. So I'm just going to YOLO it. Why not? Hirschi,
okay. I think they should definitely try with him. I'm going to go with Roglic. I'm going to keep it simple. Go for the favourite. All right, thanks for listening, everybody. I hope you enjoyed all the weekend coverage with Flanders and these recaps, and we'll see you with the Stage 2 recap tomorrow. Ciao.